When I was living in Diamond Bar at St. Denis, I was head sacristan for a couple of years while I was in high school. And so I got to be the person that sort of set up the altar and made sure vestments were ready. And another, I guess, fringe benefit is that I got to have lunch with the 5 priests there. And so we had 2 priests that belonged to the parish and then 3 visiting priests. And so it was just neat seeing the brotherhood, and I think that's what maybe started the idea of a vocation. The priesthood might have entered a little bit of my mind, but it never turned into anything more. Like I always felt like, no, I loved what I was doing at the parish and I loved ministry, but then priesthood was never an equation that I thought about. I was in finance and before that management consulting. And so after I retired, my plan was to enter the permanent diaconate. And so that had been probably the plan for, probably since my 30s. I had lunch with a good friend of mine, Monsignor Kevin Kostelnik, and then he was joking around with me because I think I'd broken up with my girlfriend at the time, and so I was unattached. And he said, if you're going to be single at the time of your ordination, you'll have to take a vow of celibacy as a deacon, so you might as well think about becoming a priest. And I remember thinking that was like the furthest thing from my mind and the furthest thing from possibility at the time. But then little by little, I guess that seed sort of germinated and grew, to the point that when I actually did retire, then priesthood became a possibility, and I started going to retreats to discern that. It's very easy when you're maybe successful or you do well in business or in a corporate or secular world, and that it's very easy for you to think that you were mostly responsible for that. Whereas I know that maybe since I entered seminary and since I've gotten into ministry, that I'm not always responsible for a lot of the good that happens, that it's by the grace of God. A lot of what has helped me in ministry is sort of like being a witness, and so I think I'm probably sometimes proof that I'm in my 50s and somehow I survived seminary by the grace of God. I did pretty well. I kept progressing, and I kept learning and being formed by what seminary formation involved, as well as getting ready for priestly ministry. And so there are a lot of things that if you had told me, say maybe 10 years ago, that this was going to be the case, I would have probably disagreed heavily. I think sometimes where I feel called is helping to be a bridge for people that have maybe left the church for one reason or another. And I have a lot of people in my life that are like that, and so I sort of feel called to sort of hopefully win them back over.